All right, welcome to part 4 of App Store Optimization, Get Your App Noticed, the Skillshare class by Tyler York. This part is on how to outmaneuver competing apps in your categories. So, when you're analyzing competitors, the first thing that you need to do is figure out what keywords they're ranking for so that you can compete with them on those keywords and then also try and see if there's some gaps in their strategy. So, for this example, you'll see that I've taken the first 4 antivirus apps in the Android store when you search for antivirus, and you'll see that it becomes pretty clear why they're ranked so high for that word. It's either in the title or it's one of the first words in that first couple sentence description. And it's repeated throughout. Like if you dig into each description, you'll find the word antivirus like 3 or 4 times at the very least. And you want to, when you're sort of mapping out keywords, you want to go through this process with each category that you're aiming at, or sort of like keyword group that you're aiming at, and with each app. So that way you can kind of get a sense of like, okay, the antivirus free app uses the word antivirus, uses the word smartphone really often. Some of the other some of the other apps don't use the word smartphone, so maybe that's something that they're doing right that we can do. A keyword that they're ranking for is maybe smartphone antivirus, right? So you start to kind of piece together what their strategy is, and then see what parts of it you agree with or disagree with and can emulate, or choose to deviate from. This can be pretty time consuming, so I usually do like the top 5 apps for each keyword that I'm looking for, and I try and keep it to like under 10 keywords. But if you really want to go nuts with this stuff, you could probably use Odesk or another service like that to really get like a huge map of like the top 30 keywords that you want to rank for and the top 10 apps in each one. It's also important to note that on iOS, this is not going to be nearly as easy as it is on Android. On Android, it's pretty straightforward, because you count like the title, how if the keyword comes up in the title, and you count how many times the keyword comes up in the description, and you maybe see like where the placement is, and that's all public and available. And on iOS, instead like the keywords that people submit under are hidden, so you kind of have to do a little bit of guesswork as to what these people are putting in as their iTunes keywords, as they might not be in their description as prominently. However, if a keyword is in the title on iOS, it's still just as important as if it's on the title on Android. So here's an example that taking that antivirus free app that was the top result for antivirus, you can see that it's one of the most commonly used words in this app. Not only is the app name antivirus free, which probably because it's so short and so straightforward is even more powerful than like lookout antivirus and security, which is what they changed their name to for better ranking. Um, they include it in the first few sentences, one, 2 times. They include protect your mobile device from viruses, malware, spyware, online exploitation. So if you're working for Lookout, you look at this like online exploitation phrase and you go, huh, I wonder if that is a key phrase that people search for. Maybe we're going to try that. And you can go through these descriptions and get pretty good ideas of what they're targeting with their App Store optimization. So, scan apps, locate your lost or stolen phone, kit lock and wipe your device, kill tasks that slow your mobile device. That seems like something that's more of like a task manager app, but they put it in here, and I bet you that's a good selling point. And you just kind of go through here, and pick things out. And then also, as you're doing that, you record, every time antivirus pops up, every time the word Android pops up. Maybe using the word Android a bunch is actually helpful, right? Because Android antivirus is a strong search term. So you just try and kind of work backwards from what they put out in public into what their strategy is. One tool that I really liked for this, and I apologize I didn't have a better screenshot, but you can go check it out yourself for free. It's mobiledevhq.com. They're not related to me at all, but they built this great volume estimator tool. So you put in a bunch of keywords. You can even put in like your app and other people's apps, and it'll show which ones are included in the description. And then volume, which is a rough estimate of how many people search for those words. And there's a couple other tools. Also, one other classmate, Paul, brought up a tool that I'm going to share with you guys that is does something similar. But there's now a number of tools on the web that help you estimate volume per keyword for the App Store, and that can really help you kind of prioritize your keyword strategy so that you get the right keywords um, and the most valuable keywords optimized the most for your app, because you can't optimize for every single keyword. It's just, it ends up reading like gobbledygook. So Mobile Dev HQ is a great tool for that. They have some other things that they do. Now, if you have an established competitor, you have an app that already has kind of a pretty distinct advantage, both just from brand name and from the fact that they have a bunch of ratings or other things that give them better SEO, or ASO, I recommend the following for each platform, and Android and Amazon are kind of rolled into one. On iOS, one thing that you can do is make sure that your icon is attention grabbing and noticeably differentiated from the competitor, so that even if you're both on the top five, you can maybe kind of steal their thunder, and get their customers from them essentially, with a better icon. Then also work on that screenshot. All right, sorry about that, guys. Had some technical difficulties with the video. So on iOS, we were at the screenshot section. The screenshot's definitely going to help seal the deal on getting people to use your app versus an established competitor. And then also focus on getting really high, really just focus on those 5-star ratings and having a really high rating. Because if you're on the same page as an established competitor, but they have a 4-star rating and you have a solid 5-star rating or even a 4.5, that gives someone a reason to try your app as opposed to theirs. So that's pretty important. On Android, you can actually beat an established competitor just by focusing on really either the long tail of keywords, or by focusing on just like really hammering those high value keywords and using them a lot and using them as part of your title. And then the same things that I said about iOS apply as well. Like your icon is obviously very important, and your rating can give people a reason to choose you instead of choosing your competitor. And that concludes part 4 of our App Store optimization class. Coming up next is part 5, getting featured. Stay tuned for the next video.